Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders Singh. What's current? Now, we have Megan Thee Stallion still wilding, still going crazy, still acting a fool with her blonde hair. She still looks sexy, but it's not all right upstairs. I've been there. Trust me. Everything's not all right upstairs. She's been overworked and underpaid or something, allegedly. And it appears that she is unhinged, and it seems that she's gone off into another tangent. She's addressed cheating rumors with her former boyfriend. What's let me get his name right. I'm gonna get it's something Fontaine. Hold on. Look for it now. Partisan. That's a unique name, Partisan. So I couldn't remember that automatically. So Partisan Fontaine. That's what she has. Let me put this in here. If you, I'm just doing a little bit of house cleaning, housekeeping. Part of my appearance right now. Just doing a little bit of house cleaning out the place. Appreciate all the hatred that comes my way. I need that hate. It's at 0 viewers right now. I love that. 0 likes, 0 viewers. That's motivation for me. I like that, how that works. I like that. Let me see what else we have to do. I'm just doing a little house cleaning, and I should be done right about almost. Yeah. $160 to go. Let's get it. All right. Now all right. So I want to get back to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan, and she doesn't like to say Thee Stallion. It's just The Stallion, even though it's spelled with 2 E's. Anyway, she went off on a rant a few days ago. She was totally, seemed like she was needed to get some kind of chill pill or some to ease her mind. Get some ginseng tea or some oolong tea or something like that. But yeah, she's still talking about the shooting case because more, I don't know if it's called evidence, but more documents have come to the light saying that the driver noticed that her friend Kelsey Harris was holding a firearm as well. So it switches things up, and Megan is going at the camera. I already know who shot me. You already know who shot me. And that's why you in jail. Like, she's hinting towards Tory Lanez. She doesn't even mention about her name. But that's what she hints at. She's not really addressing it fully. She's not going all the way in. 1 like, 0 viewers. I like how that works. One person comes in, see everything. I like this. This is cool. And then they go away. Okay, now it's 1 person and 1 like. Okay, that makes sense. I love that. Sometimes it'd be like 3 people viewing and 15 likes. Like, I don't know how that works. Now it's 0 viewers. Okay. But I still got my 1 like. They didn't take away their like. They didn't dislike me. I appreciate it. But Megan Thee Stallion, she's definitely on another level. She's got the blonde hair, swishing back and forth, against a background with like a lighted cabinet or something like that. I don't know what that was, but and she seems like she may need, I don't know if she needs therapy, but she needs to talk to somebody that she knows, just a friend, somebody that is close to her. Not Kelsey Harris. She could be indicted probably one day. I don't know, what actually happened. But yeah. So Megan Thee Stallion definitely has, that it factor. She definitely has an it factor. She's relevant and she's a factor. So I have to give her that much. She is still within the game. She's still hot. She's still popping. She represents for her stallions, her fan base, her supporters. So that's one thing that she has going for her, at least. Because, like I said, in this video, she seems like she's very, erratic and saying one thing and then the other, and then saying back and back and saying this over top of that, and it's just very hard to follow. But she has some good points. She mentions that don't just follow, the big fonts, the big typeface on the articles you see online from web loggers. I said the whole thing. Bloggers, or even like myself, a vlogger. I'm a blogger too, but that's a totally different situation. She said, read the article, read the entire article, and I did. I read the Yahoo article. Who's it by? Let me make sure I get it correct. DeMicia Inman. For Yahoo Entertainment / Vibe. I guess they bought him out. But the headline reads: Megan Thee Stallion responds to statement implying she was shot by Kelsey Harris. That was amid the I'm gonna drop a little tea. Her accusations of Partisan Fontaine. That's quite a name. That's Partisan Fontaine. Like this seems like a character in a movie or something like that. But amid his cheating accusations, so there's that. There's definitely that. But she has a way of conveying a point that I think, even though she seemed like she was all over the place, she was still clear on a lot of points. She was clear on saying how Kelsey Harris shouldn't have anything to worry about. She shouldn't be talking. She didn't want to have it blasted on the internet, but she took to the internet and blasted it away. I think it was on IG. I think everything was IG. Yeah. Oh no, excuse me, this is X. This is all on X. That I got from the story I got. It was on X. It might have been on IG earlier, but it definitely surfaced or resurfaced on X. And that's interesting to me. It's an interesting kind of game. It's a weird game that you have to play when you're a celebrity. You play the game, and this whole thing is going to be a movie. I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be. They're not going to be the actual players. Megan Thee Stallion. Played by so and so. It's going to be change names and change locations, but similar storyline. That's what I expect it to be. That's what I see it in as a feature presentation, or at least a television series, because it's going on for so long. When did this happen? When did this happen? Holy shit! Goddamn. I'm trying to find. In July 2020, we're going into 2024, and we're still talking about how she was shot in the foot. I'm not laughing at that, but I'm just saying it's just weird. It's very goofy. Let me see what Partisan Fontaine was. Partisan Fontaine, his real name is Jordan Kyle Lanier Thorpe. Okay, now I see why he had the name Partisan Fontaine. He's a songwriter and a rapper. He's co-written for multiple top 20 hits, so he's got money. Yikes, Ghost Town, All Mine by the artist formerly known as Kanye West. Yay. Bodak Yellow. Oh my. Okay, he got some hits. Megan Thee Stallion Savage remix and WAP. He won a Grammy. I didn't even realize all this. Good Lord. I'm learning on the show. I didn't even do my homework on that. I'm be honest. I'm gonna admit to that. Damn, that's impressive. Yeah, but he's got one kid, not with Megan Thee Stallion. They had their time. I'm sure they had their fun between the sheets, dropping more tea, dropping a little bit more tea. But yeah, so that's 2 likes, 0 viewers. You gotta love this. And while I'm trying to get through this story, I'm just doing a quick advertisement. If you want to listen to great neo soul, R&B, you have to listen to Spirit Smooth Tunes on YouTube.com. Spirit has a great selection, a great collection of R&B, Quiet Storm, and other genres of the like. So make sure you go to his page, subscribe, and tell other people you like his channel. Also, B Jackson, BeeJackson 5478 on YouTube. He's cooking. He's got beer. He's having a good time. He's got this wild chicken. It's like some orange looking chicken. I don't know how he made it, but it looks like he's like a master chef. He can cook. Remember this? Remember that? Anybody remember this? Lil B. I'm eating. I'm cooking. Chop, 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 chop. Anybody remember that? I'm old as hell. If you remember that, you old as hell too. You old as hell. That's Lil B, the bass god. And he just pretty much, I don't know. He was down with Soulja Boy. They must have fell out. But that's something different. But do another ad. Subscribe to or check out Peng's products from Livestrong Co. Or apparel. Tell them I sent you. Tell them Skylar Saunders sent you. You can go on Livestrong apparel.com and you can get gummies. You can get sea moss and try it out. I haven't tried it out, so I can't really recommend what the actual product is. I can recommend the site. The site looks beautiful. The site is great. So make sure you check him out. All right, so that was my little advertisements. Back to Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion, beautiful woman. She's a beautiful brown-skinned woman. I like how she's really confident and very assertive in her approach. She doesn't shy away. I like that. She knows who she is. She knows her body. She knows her mind. That's the most important thing. That's the key thing. She knows what to do with her derriere. She can swish and sway and rock it all around. That's to her credit. That's it's a good thing, I think, to be able to flaunt your sexuality, because not a lot of places around the world can do that. Try doing that in Pakistan. Try doing that in the West Bank. Try doing that in Gaza. See what happens to you. Wear the outfits that you wear, and you're supposed to be. I don't know if she is, but people are supporting Palestinians. There's no Palestine, by the way, and they want to have their booty music and shaking their hands and twerking, and then try twerking in Iran. Try to twerk on the street in Iran somewhere or Afghanistan. See what happens to you. Try doing that in Gaza. See what happens to you. But anyway, I digress. Megan Thee Stallion had some good points and then some, weird, channels that she went through. She's like saying, I got my blonde hair. I got my blonde hair. Like that's like an emblem of beauty. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that? I mean, I would say so. I love white women with blonde hair. Black women with blonde hair, it's always a curious thing. It's always like, I kind of like it because I like the fact that you're altering your appearance to appear better, to seem better. I can agree with that. I understand that. But your original hair is beautiful too. Look at that. Look at the brown hair that God gave you. No, there is no God, but I'm just saying that as a natural, physics, chemistry, chemical um reaction that created your hair and the brown color, your natural state. I don't have a problem with it. Like Beyonce. Beyonce is a key figure, and they're both from Houston. So it's that connection. They want to change their hair blonde. All right, so what? Even dudes do it. Pharrell, Ye, Drewski, among others, have dyed their hair blonde, and that's cool for dudes, I guess. Why can't it be cool for women as well? It's very weird, very interesting. She has a total connection to something that is very. It's tough to put your finger on it, but I'll do my best to do it, to try it. She has a way about her that extends further than what people expect. I'm gonna be specific. She, you just think that she's just gonna be shaking her behind all around her, but she's got her own, you know, set of ideals. She has her own, connection to the media. She has connection to the news. Like she wouldn't have said, pay attention to details, pay attention to actual articles, and not just look at the fonts and the typeface that's huge. I mean that just grabs your attention. That's all. That's part of the game. That'll say, oh, they're gonna want to read this. They're gonna want to read that. They're gonna see this and see that. But that's what is the difference. That's what's so different about the whole thing. Is that there was no um, idea until she had the idea of saying, you know, look at the articles. Nobody, hardly people will say that. They don't want to read. They say go to a video or go to the audio, go to something like that. She's saying go to the articles, to the blog, whatever the case may be, and read it. Actually read the whole thing. And I did. And I'm still confounded at the fact that Kelsey Harris had a firearm. Why did she have a firearm? Allegedly. I mean, according to the driver, she had a firearm. But Megan Thee Stallion's firing back, and she had other hair colors too, red and stuff like that. But I mean, and that costs thousands of dollars, I'm sure, to get those weaves or fronts or whatever the case may be. But it says I'm quoting from a Yahoo Entertainment /Vibe story. On Wednesday, was this December 13th? Was that? Yeah, exactly. Photos of a legal document allegedly submitted by Tory Lanez's driver surfaced, stating that although he did not see who fired the weapon in the rapper's shooting, he witnessed Megan's former friend, Kelsey Harris, holding a firearm. This is so goofy. This is why this is so weird. This is not Baja Jackson. Did you hear me represent you, sir? I saluted you. I saluted you, sir. I'm gonna need at least $50. I'm gonna need at least $150. maybe just 20. Just give me 20 and I'll be good. No, but salute to you, sir. Respect. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for bringing on more people. It was at 0 for a good long time, but now it's at 3, 2, 2, 3. All right, so Megan Thee Stallion, she got shot in her foot, and I'm not trying to trivialize that because that probably brought her pain and suffering, and she didn't feel well, I'm sure. But we're going on 4 years ago, and nobody was murdered. This isn't a murder case. This is some stupid niggers in the desert somewhere and playing with firearms that they shouldn't have had in the first place, and somebody's toe almost getting shot off. I mean, that it just amazes me. I'm still mystified at the fact that we're talking about this case going on 4 years ago, and there were no bodies connected to it, and there were no drums of cocaine or fentanyl worth hundreds of millions of dollars washed up. I can see we can still talk about that. There's no murder suspects. There's nothing like that. Whoever did it, is close to my recollection, my knowledge, is in jail right now. Tory Lanez. So I don't understand what the logic of continuing to harp on this case over and over and over and over and over until it gets run to the ground. It gets run right to the ground. And Megan Thee Stallion, she's just all in a tizzy, going back and forth. I told Kelsey, I'm paraphrasing, but like I told Kelsey, don't even worry about it. We're not even going to talk about it on the internet. We're not going to talk about it. Running her mouth, like I could see if she was cool, if she had taken a marijuana vapor and had some coffee and a piece of cake, or a piece of pie, piece of key lime pie or something like that, or pecan pie, something crazy, I don't know. And so I'm just saying, like, what is it that she had to go on and on and on about and address? I think it went on for a good 13, 14 minutes, at least 10 minutes. Here's a quote from she says, "Imagine y'all saying somebody's following the street code and they're not snitching." And she proposed that was a quote. Proposed a 28-year-old addressing allegations aimed at Harris. Quote, "Are you snitching or are you not snitching? Because y'all trying to pretend like Kelsey shot me. Kelsey didn't mother effing shoot me. And I really wonder why her main problem," this is how she was talking. "Her main problem was with me was you won't tell people I didn't shoot you." I was like, "Kelsey, I don't want to talk about this on social media at all. But now you won't even get online and defend yourself. So that really just proves my point. Either you took some money or your life is in danger." I'm like, God damn. She was on her own. She was on her bag on that. I said, God damn, this is some crazy mess. But yeah, so it just seems like she's just so out of sorts. She's preparing for the new year, though. She's saying, it's going to be a stallion year. All her stallions are going to get together. She's going to, make sure she's on point. Hopefully she does. I want her to move on from this. I think she's fully healed physically. I don't think she has to worry about any kind of, problems in the long run here. But as far as it is, noted, she's not really altogether there. I'm definitely not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist, but she could see a psychiatrist, and I wouldn't dismiss it from her. She went through trauma. She was shot. I mean, that changes you in a way. You're physically altered. You're mentally scarred. That will mess with you. And it has to be that serious if we're talking about something from damn near 4 years ago. That's pretty hectic. That's pretty serious. I mean, it's almost like unnerving. It's really, like I said, I don't know if she needs psychiatric therapy. I don't know that. It's none of my business. Maybe she does. Maybe she doesn't. The thing is, though, if she's going to be out on the road, if she's going to be in, private jets, if she's going to be on stages, if she's going to be doing interviews, if she's going to be doing award shows, all of that's going to be, taxing on her physically and mentally. All of that's going to be something that's going to be it's going to definitely take a toll. It's definitely going to take a toll. So if she is able to take down all the information that she is able to do, then I think it is possible for her to shoulder, the burden of, being somebody that was shot and then be released from that. Because that's going to affect her whole life. Not just physically. If the physical wounds are going to be there on her foot, of course. No question. But the mental scars, they're going to definitely be embedded in her consciousness. They're going to be in her subconsciousness. And she's going to lash out, she's going to yell, she's going to scream. I'm sure, like she did pretty much in the video. She was cognizant, she was clear. She had a very distinct vision of what she wanted to be and what she wanted to say. But it just seems like it just came out in a weird way. I'm going to say some more. Quote, if you say you don't shoot me, why won't you get on the stand and say, I didn't shoot this B? You say it online every day. You figure out how to get your niggas to say you didn't do it. You figure out how to get the blogs to say you didn't do it. But the one MFer would have mattered from what? But the one MFer would have mattered from was you. It's terribly worded. You should have said, I didn't do it. Kelsey did it. If she did it, why wouldn't you just say she did it? Messy child. I'm in the haterverse. So I guess I have a license to say that's messy child. It's so messy. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. I really am. And why don't I have 3 likes? Whoever is not giving me 3 likes, push that 2 up to a 3. I need 3 people viewing and 3 people likes. 3 likes. Come on, bring it up. I'm waiting for it. All right, so this is a cluster F. You know what a cluster F is? I'm not trying to cuss. So this is a cluster F. You know what that means? This is just a complete mess that will probably continue to go on. Should be talking about this in 2034, 2044. It'll be going on and on and on. It won't stop. And you know what? I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. There'll be newspaper people saying, well, how do you still feel, pain, or you suffering, or do you still have issues with the bullet wounds, or do you still have flashbacks, or they're gonna keep on with the story anyway. News people, journalists, people of my ilk, are gonna pry and prod and try to get her to probably cry on the interview, and that hasn't already happened yet. So that's the story here. That's what's happening here. She has like I said, she has everything going for her. She's beautiful. Well, she's a good looking woman. I'll say that. She's a good looking woman. She's got a mind about her. She seems like she's about her business. You know what I mean? I think she has endorsement deals. I think she has different business ventures on the table. Let me see. She uses philanthropy, and what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with as long as it benefits you. She feeds the Houston Food Bank. Oh yeah, that's what they're called. They're not stallions. They're hotties. Her hotties are next year. Her hotties are all preparing to have a Megan Thee Stallion 2024. All her hotties around the world, all over the globe, that watch her videos, that listen to her music, that buy her tickets and for concerts. I just want her to get it together. I just hope she gets it together. That's an honest thing to say. I hope she's all right physically and mentally, and that nothing can harm her. No weapon formed against her shall prosper. And that's coming from an atheist. Now, it's been half of the show. This other half is going to be dedicated to myself and my making stories I've created. So we'll get to that. Let me find out what stories to read. It's already at 2 people or 3 people watching. 2 people watching now. I needed that third one when there was 3 people. Needed that. That's fine. I'm gonna do just like this. All right, so the Nobel Prizes were awarded to laureates on Sunday. So this is my top story from October of 2022, going on 2 years ago. So I wrote this piece called "Why Nasir Nas Jones Deserves a Nobel Prize in Literature." The street poet has earned his placement as a literary laureate. This is a top prize. Remember that. Okay. A slight rasp and precise diction. The projects become vivid escapes. Wisdom becomes a thugged out ticket into the ruggedness of the urban zones of Queensbridge, Queens, New York City. The street poet Nas has shined a light into the dim places of the inner cities for decades now. He has challenged the ideals of what a melanated foundational black American FBA man can spout on the microphone. His smooth yet hard flow is like cognac flowing over ice. Nas deserves a Nobel Prize for Literature. His pedigree shows that he can be versatile, flipping vocal cords with a way to paint pictures with verbs, adverbs, nouns, and adjectives. His dedication to the art of transforming mundane things in city neighborhoods like guns and personifying them in The Power I Gave You emphasizes his might on the mic. His pen has always been sharp from his inception. His initial album, Illmatic, 1994, featured one of the most profound and complicated rhyme schemes, as in the final track, It Ain't Hard to Tell. It ain't hard to tell. I excel, then prevail. The mic is contacted. I attract clientele. My mic check is life or death, breathing a sniper's breath. I exhale the yellow smoke of Buddha through righteous steps. Deep like the shining, sparkle like a diamond. Sneak a Uzi on the island in my army jacket lining. Mr. Jones displayed a serious talent early in his career. Like a general on the field commanding warriors, Nas does the same for syllables and sounds. His concern with the universe, the world is yours, if I rule the world, small world, new world, rule, his place in it has fed optimum material. His dense, pointed words combined with the turns of phrase that permit the listener to visualize through poetic touches the viewpoint of a man focused on excellence. One of the greatest achievements of his career was squashing the distinction between him and fellow street sage Sean Jay-Z Carter in late 2005. Nas brought his wisdom to the floor, knowing that Jay-Z as a friend would make more than dollars. It would be good for his own psyche. He has since created more albums, bursting with ideas like including his father, Oludara, on his blues-infused song Bridging the Gap from the album Street's Disciple, 2004. And that is what makes Nas a viable contender for arguably the most prestigious literary award in history. He packs his statements with the sensual, the dangerous, the cool. The worst scenes like cops being chopped up and dropped in dumpsters is conveyed with controlled, thoughtful cadence. If anyone listens to a Nas album, it's like opening a novel or collection of poems, to be more exact. The illustrations that enter the ear or a text of his words create a world that shows that a 19-year-old was ready to enter into the rap arena. Members of hip-hop ought to push for Nas to earn his lauded prize through his effortless performances and deep catalog. Jones still raps and has amassed a great amount of attention with Grammy Award appearances and documentaries. His work is similar to supreme singers like Marvin Gaye, who considered erotica and the conditions of the planet and people around him. Nasir Jones has laid down thousands of raps over his career that amount to a stellar mountain that listeners continue to climb and break down and decipher. With prophecy and strong mental exercises, Nas has shown time and again that he is a beacon amongst a wasteland. As rap continues to be the dominant genre throughout the globe, it's due to bards like Nas who have studied the game and have shown himself approved. By being the light in a dark alleyway, Nas has borne the battles to secure tranquility. His mind has always been trained on lifting up the genre to levels of special deportment. While some will dismiss the art form, it is a poet like Nas that has elevated the entire genre through his words. His presence remains a paragon of strength, smarts, and comprehension. For all his rhymes, his best may be on his classic One Mic. All need is one life, one tribe, one breath, and one man. What I stand for speaks for itself. They don't understand. He breaks down his reality as a man of color in America. He's not complaining or even championing the idea. He's simply addressing his very nature. For Nas to receive an honor such as being a Nobel laureate for literature would ennoble some of the masses who may not know or regard rap. Also, members of the hip-hop community might glean knowledge about the prize as well. As a bastion, he would be exalted for this esteemed laurel. As a man of his word, Nas has constructed an entire body of work that expels the negative and embraces the truth. For him to be a Nobel laureate would mean that young children will see that even those from the worst circumstances can excel to greater heights given their talent and work ethic. To take Nas as another American deserving of the Nobel Prize for letters means that he earned it. Throughout an entire pathway lit by wit and street intelligence has propelled Nas to become a greater man. That misunderstanding that he found from critics, peers, and those who decried his ability would still be present. The way, however, he will be able to discover his true self would be knowing that a hunk of Swedish gold and a cool $900,000 plus would suit his caliber. When rap finally gets proper treatment by all sectors to the fact that it is a viable way to dance and allow the mind to dance, that will be a day of reckoning. Nas has, without a doubt, begat future potential poets laureate Lupe Fiasco, J. Cole, and Pulitzer Prize winner Kendrick Lamar. He has laid the groundwork for those artists to tread in the hip-hop town. To be a bearer of something applauded and despised in the same turn, he has never faltered on his role as a statesman for the genre. Nas knows that he can take that trip out to Sweden and accept a rare award, even rarer for a rapper. All right, so I hope you like that. Let me see how many people even logged on and or logged off. Still 2 people. Whoever you 2 people are, thank you for being around. I'm going to still do these stories now. I'm not stopping with the stories. Not stopping with the stories. I'm going to look around for a little bit. Try to find a next top story. I have like 3 or 4, I think. Let me make sure I can find it. It's coming in now. The stories are they're loading. Continuing to load. All right, I can do one while it's loading. All right, this is from January 2022. Top story. It's Jay-Z, Meek Mill, and others seek to stop lyrics usage in courtrooms. The elder rapper and associates fight for freedom of speech right. And this is interesting because this is, pressing right now. This is what's, they almost foresaw this. In the Romantic Manifesto, Ayn Rand writes, art is a selective recreation of reality according to an artist's metaphysical value judgments. This clearly shows creative expression is a selection of elements brought together by the mind. For courts to allow lyrics to songs across all genres, but especially rap, is improper. Jay-Z is at the forefront with Meek Mill to ban the admittance of rap lines within the courts of law. From the rock songs that allegedly led to the suicides of listeners of Judas Priest, the idea should not just be confined to New York, but every court in the land. Now, with hip-hop being the dominant force in music, YNW Melly and Bobby Shmurda have seen their words used by the prosecution to end their freedom for a set time. This is injustice. Art is just a way of showing the turgid and bombastic lifestyles and experiences these rappers experiences that these rappers experience. Hold on. All right, I found it. Any judge ought to toss out the notion music should be aligned with rappers on trial for their lives. And all the ways rappers can say that they sold kilos of cocaine, raped hundreds of women, and murdered tens of people, it's all relegated to artistic expression. This is the line that divides reality from invention. To consider the thought that sitting down an individual in a cell based on his or her lyrics is a poor sign for the legal system. Does that mean plays, novels, films, and television should be made admissible as well in the context of viewing art as a central point to criminality? Where legislators get the idea for passing laws for facilitating the idea art can be something to point to in order to seal someone's fate is an emotional response. Art is all about thought and emotion, and is impersonal and objective. It has no place in the halls of Congress or the law courts in condemning people for what they think and feel. Along with the rappers like Killer Mike and others, these artists are pushing for the justice that says they should be able to form their own words and not have the law interpret their words as literal weapons. Rappers who see their words bring them down and shackle them should be unfettered in their First Amendment right. And of course, any other artist who paints or sculpts should be guarded by the freedom of speech of this land. By taking out the context of the alleged criminality of the artist and the existence of their lyricism, one can glean the reality of the difference between art, acts, and recorded thoughts. In every way, the art is supposed to entertain, enlighten, and engage, not inform about the crimes an artist did not commit. For prosecutors to use music as a way of discussing the behavior of the defendant in a serious crime against the mind, it says creative people can't use their talents to illustrate with words their own ideas. When the art takes precedence over evidence, witnesses, and testimony by the artist, that is a shameful display of power that should not be exerted by any court. By harnessing the power of the Constitution of the United States, each man and woman who decides to make something new with their words should not fear being put behind bars for their offerings. There is a way art can, of course, be of extreme importance in man's lives. The estimates that artist makes and his or her expression is not limited to just the easy, the predictable, or the canned. Art ought to show sometimes shocking and stimulating truths about the world. That was my top story for 2022. And y'all are still around. I don't know who you are. You're two people hanging on. I don't know why. I don't know who. You're not showing yourself. You gave me 2 likes. I'm not mad. I'm still feeling it. This is another story I did. Let's see. I'm looking for it right now. This is also 2022, September 2022. Top story. It's got almost 100 likes. Cardi B returns to middle school with a bag, but how much is enough? The rapper makes good on a promise. Is she right or wrong? While it is beautiful for an artist like Cardi B to go back to her middle school with $100,000 in tow, what is the limit? How much or how little should artists and other figures in the spotlight give to their previous institutions of learning, whether they be elementary schools or universities and everything in between? Giving back is one of the worst slogans uttered by people who mean well but miss the point. They don't see how they never took anything from the place of learning or housing or organization in the first place. Cardi B has earned her fortune and can do whatever she wishes with it. The object is whether she should give all of her dollars away in support of people she doesn't even know. Should she give all of her estimated net worth of $40 million? When does it stop? The people has been the rapper has been genuine and kind for her contributions, but should she reap no reward material or spiritual from offering to her charitable groups? Is it better for her to sacrifice until it hurts and actually feel pain and no gain for giving alms to the people who can only benefit on their own behalf? Philosopher Immanuel Kant would certainly agree with such an idea. He would have wanted to see Cardi stripped of every dollar, and if she could show bruises and cuts and maybe catch COVID-19, then that would be perfect virtue. The striking alternative to this disgusting thought is Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism. It holds that the individual's life is sovereign. It espouses that people can trade with one another, but only to a mutual benefit. This is the dynamic of an aspect of capitalism. This system of justice ensures that all transactions are based on morality. Money is the measure of activity of the mind. Cardi B ought to know that her money is a result of her efforts, because she put in the work to trade with her millions of supporters. It is beautiful that she decided to engage in philanthropy. There's nothing evil or wrong about trading back to individuals and institutions deserving of such funds. That's the key. To understand how being a capitalist is not a pejorative, but a badge of honor is what ought to be present not only in hip hop, but within the culture at large. To be a capitalist does not mean trampling on underclasses. In fact, capitalism exists in individuals of every young rung of the social order. It means you value and cherish property rights, which are derived from individual rights. It's only right that the way that Cardi B doles out her dollars should reflect her braggadocious rhymes. On the track, few are spared her tongue lashings about her anatomy, her rhyming prowess, and of course, her money. As she continues to excel at her craft, she should be encouraged to look into the ideals that should be instilled in hip hop since its inception. While objectivism regards reason, individualism, and capitalism, the music genre, which once had a chance of being a culture, is marred with mysticism and gnawed logic, narcissism, materialism, commercialism, and mercantilism. If there is any way for this genre to reverse course and fly with the wings of liberty, it is with artists like Cardi B who have huge followings. If a wave washed through hip hop and altered its course, it should be in the way of objectivism. Cardi has every opportunity to be on the vanguard. As she had gussed over the likes of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she could learn something from Dr. Yaron Brook and Troy Star Terrain. As long as she reads and understands the writings of these men and other capitalists, she may be enlightened to know what it means to experience real financial freedom. That's another story I had, top story. I think I'm out of top stories. But I had a few. I had like 4, I think. I'm going to continue on. We still got a little bit of time left. Still rolling. Still in this. I appreciate y'all for staying on. Let me see. This is still from vocal.media. Make sure you check out my stories on vocal.media. Just look for my name, Skylar Saunders, and we'll be good from there. All right, this is funny. This is funny because I was wrong. And I'm gonna let y'all know that I was wrong. And I'm glad I was wrong. Okay, so here we go. This should take us out. This should take us out. Why are you ranking most telling signs that Nicki Minaj's career is done? Listed from Stop the Beef to Live That Pop Life. Nicki Minaj has remained a significant presence since her inception in the late 2000s. But is her grip on the rap game slipping? I got a picture of her. All right, here we go. Over the course of more than a decade, Onika, Tanya, Nicki Minaj, Mirage has dominated charts, garnered awards, and drew ire from hip-hop legends. But in that time, her star has been dimming slowly. Yes, the Chun-Li rapper has fallen incrementally. While album sales are still strong, they are not as formidable as her rap world collaborators and competition alike. As she arrived into the game with a style reminiscent of R&B legend Mildred Virginia Millie Jackson, she has painted a self-portrait of an artist in flux. She seems to change herself more than a chameleon. Her saving grace has always been her predilection for being one of the most flamboyant, over-the-top show women in the game. With 4 albums and dozens of songs to her credit, Minaj can say that she has had a successful career both critically and commercially. Her outlandish costumes, hair, and cosmetics have been toned down as of this writing, but the hunger and the drive seems to have been diminished as well. As one of the best-selling artists of all time, it is clear that Minaj is no slouch. She works and continues to perform and endear to her audience. But all the labor in her isn't for naught. Most rappers are fortunate to get one of the 2 albums in and a few on the charts and be happy with the financial windfall based on their endeavors. They usually have a window of about 2 to 5 years to churn out music like a maiden converting cream into butter. For Minaj, she had her time in the sunshine. Now new women of hip-hop ought to take center stage. So get your Roman Zelensky RP memes for her. Why are you ranking most telling signs that Nicki Minaj's career is done? Listed from Stop the Beef to Live That Pop Life. Minaj and Fools. Okay, that's 6. She responded to Safari on social media about alleged violent altercations. Instead of just ignoring her former lover, Nicki Minaj took to Twitter to vent some pent-up frustrations. Allegations concerning a knife attack surfaced when Safari Lloyd Samuels claimed that this Queens rapper attacked him. She's too big for his petty nonsense. She made him look like a master of words in the Twitter sphere. Nicki's money is much longer than his. She could have just dispatched a publicist or blogger to troll Safari until his eyes showed red. No, she went on the defensive and counterattacked him as if he were on her level financially, mentally, or spiritually. Minaj exhibited irrationality in her posts. She was like a powerful businesswoman reducing herself to the province of a waif. Instead of employing restraint and discipline and allowing Safari to stumble on his own words, she let unreason rule the day. This Twitter confrontation at least remained digital. If Nicki Minaj had confronted Safari or the opposite happened, then there would be no recourse for whomever would have caused the first strike. Finally, Minaj ought to reserve her good name to enhancing and perfecting her rhyming skills. Twitter nonsense is beneath her. It shows a weakness on her behalf to have ever entered into the feud. Someone of her stature should lead the Twitter disputes to adversaries like Reminisce, Remy Ma, and continue to count the her tens of millions of dollars. Rank, Stop the Beef. All right, 5. Cardi B exists. Though they share no animosity towards each other in front of the cameras and microphones anyway, Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar, better known as Cardi B, has taken the spotlight away from Minaj with aplomb. Cardi B accelerated up the charts and even saw a feature with Minaj on the Migos Motorsport 2017. While the two have never displayed public feuding or beef within the hip-hop sphere, the numbers show it. Cardi B did something that Nicki Minaj has never done, achieved #1 status on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. This feat allowed for Cardi to knock down the door for 21st century female rappers. As each rhyme spitter clamors for the top position, Cardi B just strolled onto the scene with a similar flair as Minaj. Complete with $1,000 wigs, manicured and polished nails, haute couture designer outfits, and an aggressive delivery on the mic, people started to call Cardi B and Minaj ripoff. Soon, though, with their artistry and raw talent and skill, the distinction between the two MCs became ever clearer. Minaj has adjusted herself by dispensing with the British accents and the Roman Zelensky business. Now she's more focused on her core rapping technique and the continuance of her East Asian-inspired lyrics behind Chun-Li. While it is not too late for Minaj to have a #1 single on the Billboard charts, it cannot be denied that Cardi filled the space left by Lauryn Hill and captured the pole position faster and with more intensity than Minaj. Cardi B just outperformed Nicki Minaj at her own game. The Bronx-born rapper defeated the one-time Queens inhabitant by using syncopated rhyming styles, puns, and imagery. Cardi's never fired a shot at Nicki so far, and all she has to do to win against her is rap the best, rank, remain cordial. 4. The name of the album, Queen, is beyond passé. Throughout the ages, men have fought battles for prized women known as queens. These same queens, along with kings, waged other wars and looted and plundered their wealth to sustain fiefdoms. The claim that blacks and whites particularly share with kingdoms and queendoms is that they are something to be looked at or to be emulated. Or, look up to or emulated. At the same time, bloody battles and dusty slavery typify the meaning of ruling over peons. There is a reverence for royalty as if they earned something through the fact that they allegedly won the womb count lottery. In today's world, the queen is more symbolic than anything else. Minaj is not the first to declare herself the queen, as rappers like Queen Latifah, Dana Elaine Owens, Lil' Kim, Kimberly Denise Jones, the Queen Bee, have made manifest. But the irony is that Minaj didn't choose to name the album The King. King is already taken by rapper Clifford T.I. Harris. But that probably wouldn't have stopped her, as Eve Jahan Jeffers Cooper already had an album called Scorpion, and Drake used the same name for his compilation. In her lyrics to her greatest single to date, Moment for Life, she states that in this very moment I'm king. In the other track, Roman's Revenge, Miss Minaj compares herself not to Princess Jasmine, but to Aladdin. The dichotomy of sexes inherent in Minaj's work exemplifies her befuddling persona. At one time, she's a reserved vixen. The next moment, she transforms into the garish figure who could pass for a guy. Is she illustrating the duality of the gender roles by subverting the preconceived notions of what masculinity and femininity entail? Or is she just hamming it up for the cameras to try to retain what little shelf life she retains? Whatever her reasons for calling the album Queen, they don't match up with her decision to make it 19 tracks. If she is queen, is T.I. still king? Got my 3 likes. That's all right. One person watching. All right. 3. Queen is too long. In an era where you have artists like, it says Kanye West. I'll say the artist formerly known as Kanye West, influencing other artists with whom he works to limit the albums to just 7 songs. Minaj chose the opposite route and vowed for a bloated piece of work. Influenced by trap, pop, and R&B beats and melodies, Queen falters on trying to be too many things at one time. Only about the number of projects that Mr. West helmed actually carried this album. Barbie Dreams, where Minaj channels the late Christopher B.I.G. Wallace, addresses the sexcapades with established artists within the hip-hop world. Chun-Li is a strong single that made its way to the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. But again, she paints herself as what bloggers may see her as, the bad guy, an homage to the film Scarface. It demonstrates that Minaj still has fire and hunger, even though these attributes are quickly waning. With a guest appearance by Inga de Carla Fong, Foxy Brown, Marshawn on Coco Chanel, the song sounds like a funeral dirge. To dredge up old-time rappers like Foxy Brown shows that Minaj is still capable of a few missteps. The entire album could have been packaged with a sense of brevity, far from her masterpiece. Queen fails to deliver the goods on how talented the raptress actually is. Rank, get off of the throne. 2. She should be in a relationship. In reports, Minaj has said that she was able to focus on and complete her album because she was single. If Queen is any indication of whether Minaj should be romantically involved, is the prime example. Maybe if she were getting the good loving from a steady partner, she would have produced a better addition to her catalog. While Safari couldn't hold her down, Robert or Meek Mill Williams wasn't mentally prepared to handle her, and Nasir and Nas Jones just couldn't put in the work to maintain her. Maybe Nicki Minaj should find another love interest who can fulfill all these needs. With that first blush, While at first blush, it would appear as Minaj didn't need a man to finish the project. Upon further review, she would require a real man to deliver to her what she needs to listen to, not what she wants to hear. The men in her life that aided her in successful runs brought some levels of stability and control to her seemingly unstable persona. Some of them instituted laws and guidelines, allegedly, that kept her in perpetual check. This balance led her to create excellent art. Despite the fanfare and media rounds that she had been going on to promote Queen, she has noticeably been without a significant other. This absence of a lover has proven to be a detriment to her career. In each of her previous relationships, she has been the breadwinner. Is she patterning herself after Oprah Winfrey? As she strings along lover after lover, she should pursue a strong-minded man of leisure who will guide not only her career but her life. She needs a man with a strong back and a strong will to keep her within the realm of stability. Rank, boo up. And finally, number 1, she should continue her pop career. While some may complain that tracks like Starships are not hip-hop, which is true, the reality is that this is one of the strongest offerings by rapper Minaj. She got into a pocket and blew away any questions pertaining to her crossover appeal. Singles like this exploded onto the scene for her as an individual. Once pigeonholed into over-sexualized shock rap, Minaj made a smooth transition into pop arena. The dividends rolled in as well as her pop record efforts garnered her more platinum certification and recognition, with guest appearances including Ariana Grande, Jessica Allen, Jessie J. Cornish, and Holly Brooke, Skylar Grey, Hafferman. Minaj has been able to expand her sonic and visual aspects. With the ability to appear on pop radio stations, Minaj permitted other acts to follow her path and continue to make quality music. No matter what the player hating critics like Hot 97 on-air person and Paul Rosenberg say, Minaj bests herself in the competition by including pop idols. Since she is not a pop artist and a bona fide MC, she can take solace in the fact that her talent should reach as many ears as possible, never mind the salacious videos she makes. But the pop world has embraced Minaj just as the hip-hop realm has accepted her. She should eye that number 1 spot by creating a pop dynasty that will propel her to greater riches and celebrity. The artists with whom she already collaborated should line up to complete tracks with her that have hip-hop, Caribbean, and other influences comprised in it. The pop route ought to be as identifiable as Starships is. Rank, live that pop life. And yes, that did age like milk, and I'm glad it aged like milk. Because she had a number 1 single, she got married. Everything I said that should happen kind of came true. So it kind of aged like wine, but nobody can drink it. I guess I don't know, because she excelled, and that's a good sign. I appreciate it. All right, Dot Focus is on the check-in. Salute. I don't know when you came in. They should give a timestamp. I was just doing my story. I'm about to get the hell out of here. Should I hang on for a little bit longer? Or should I get the hell out of here? Whoever, Dot Focus, if you're still in the live chat, let me know. Baja Jackson came in and said yo and left. He peaced out. He dropped $5 on me, so it's a $5 raised. $155 to go. Let's get it. Appreciate that $5. Talking about that white boy. We're talking about white boys. It appears that Matthew Perry died from ketamine, the effects of ketamine. That's just been reported. Quote from the Wall Street Journal: the Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner said the 54-year-old also drowned in his pool. It was a secondary factor in his accidental death on October 28th, the report said. Other factors played a role in the death, including coronary artery disease and buprenorphine effects. According to the autopsy, buprenorphine is a medication used to treat opioid use disorder. Perry, who was open about his lifelong substance abuse struggles, was discovered unresponsive in his pool in his Pacific Palisades home, according to Los Angeles police officials. So, like I said, I couldn't cry then, and I'm not crying now. He's a white man. He made millions of dollars. He had talent about him. He wasn't the most talented person ever, but he definitely, could, get a laugh, get a chuckle from his sarcasm and his irony. So he died from ketamine and drowning. That's the reason why he passed away. So there's that. All right, so I'm going to go away. I appreciate Baja Jackson and Dot Focus. They both have wrenches. They both give me money, so I appreciate them. So thank you very much for riding with me. I got up to about 3 people, I think. So I'm not mad. It's at a 5 o'clock hour. I know it's not my hour, but I appreciate it anyway. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.